Hey y'all, hi. So today, I know my hair is very red. I will address it in a minute, but first I want to tell you that today I am going to share with you, I actually love this video, a rapid fire list of, to me, they're like artistic styling suggestions, hopefully artistic and as yet unconsidered or as yet untried suggestions for little ways and in some case, like full outfit formula. So big and little ways that you can style your clothes. Hopefully, in many of these cases, using things that you already own. So I want these to be things that you can try immediately. I'm hoping that by the end of this video, you will have come across at least one, if not a handful of things that you can try immediately without buying anything. And that will infuse the coming weeks of your experience with personal style with some freshness and excitement. If this is your first time to my channel, welcome. My name is Hannah. My hair has never been this red before. I am a natural redhead. And after years of being falsely accused of coloring my hair, today the rumors are true. What I did was I used that Lush henna. It is so much more vibrant than I expected it to be. I used the lightest shade. I think it's called Venetian. I was fully expecting it to not work at all. I thought it was going to be undetectable and that I would be a little bit disappointed. And instead, here we are. I fully, shoddily and hastily, and having no idea what I was doing, dyed my own hair with henna this morning and then immediately sat down to film myself and put it out on the internet for 200,000 people to see. Here we are in the 21st century. Let's go ahead and get into the meat of the video. Okay, first suggestion. I had this picture saved on Pinterest. I love this. Slightly unusual and so doable to wear socks with slip-on shoes like this. In this case, they are loafers. They're mules, right? They're loafer mules. I find this an artistic and interesting suggestion for a couple of reasons. One, it wouldn't occur to me normally to wear slip-on mules like this with socks. If I had shoes like this right now, which I don't think I have this exact silhouette of shoe right now, but I have owned shoes like this in the past. I think of it as like a spring, summer, and maybe early fall shoe to be worn without socks. And then when it's cold, these shoes kind of fall out of season for me. Here, they're kind of being styled as a winter shoe as long as the weather conditions aren't too bad. So it makes the shoe more of a year-round shoe. It gives the outfit more of an edge. It's like a little bit more creative interest. And then there's another thing going on here, which is that the socks and the pants are the same color. And so it's almost like the sock blends into the pant and then straight into the shoe. And that is also visually interesting and sculptural looking. And in this case, it's particularly sculptural because the colors are muted, just black and brown. And so that really highlights what's going on with the shapes. A classic minimalist fashion move, right? You turn down the dial of color and pattern, and in that way you kind of turn up the dial of silhouette. I think it's beautiful. I think it's achievable by essentially anyone. And if you already have socks and pants that are the same color and you have a pair of shoes that's even remotely like this, you can try it tomorrow or today. Okay, suggestion number 2, red on red on red. Now, this isn't our first collective rodeo talking about monochromatic dressing. You know that I have begged you in the past to try various iterations of monochromatic outfits. Specifically today, I want to talk about shades of red. A lot of people have at least a red top of some kind. And then I think fewer than those, but still a lot of people have red pants or a red skirt or a red dress that you could wear underneath a top. And so then it just becomes a skirt of some kind. Often, we have not considered, those of us who have both of those, wearing them together because they're two slightly different shades of red, or in some cases, two very different shades of red. So if you're out there and you wear your red sweater from time to time, but you usually wear it with jeans or some other kind of pant, and then you wear your red pants from time to time, but you usually wear them with a different top, I'm here to encourage you to put them on together at least at home and look in the mirror and see how it looks. There's so much casual power in an outfit like this. And it's not just because, you know, they say red is a power color, whatever. That's kind of true, but also a little bit boring, I think. There's casual power in it to me because it's so artistic, especially if they're slightly mismatched shades, the two colors of red. It's like an outfit that seems difficult or bold in the abstract, but in actuality is very easy to wear, especially if the two separate garments are garments that you have bonded with separately, individually, and you feel very comfortable in each one of them separately, then you'll feel maybe more comfortable than you think in the outfit when you put them together. Of course, you can try this with other colors. It doesn't need to be red. So if you have a green sweater and green pants, and blue pants, of course, and we've talked about that before ad infinitum, talking about monochromatic dressing, I wanted to shine a light on red, and this choice specifically to do with red today. Okay, next up, 2 ways to wear an oversized white button-down shirt or an oversized white button-down blouse. If you have one, 2 ways that you might not have considered. Number 1, this woman on the left, slightly cropped jeans, loafers, and a pair of colorful socks. This is such an elegant, it's one of those things where each individual element of the outfit is so casual and normal, right? So norm-core even. The jeans in isolation are unremarkable. Purple socks in isolation are relatively unremarkable. The white button-down can be very, very chill, and then these loafers in isolation again, are pretty chill and would read pretty minimal depending on what you put them with. But putting them all together in this outfit, it just sings. And if you have these elements, it would be so easy to borrow. If you don't have cropped jeans, if you usually don't wear cropped jeans, but you want to try this and you recognize that showing the sock is really important, you can cuff your pants or cuff your jeans. And actually, they don't even need to be jeans. I think the fact that they're jeans is important to this iteration of this outfit because it's like the casual denim with the sock and the shoe and then with the button down, but you could try this with a different pant. I didn't used to wear that much denim. So if I had tried this in the past, I would have tried it with a different pant. Right now I am kind of into denim. And then the other picture here, I love this. If you have really splashy pants, I know there are a lot of people in the world who are super drawn to loud pants and buy them and then kind of hit a roadblock when it comes to actually wearing them, especially into a work environment, maybe even into any environment. It's like you have those pants that looked so good in the store. They fit you really well. You really love them in theory and they're so you, but every time you go to wear them, you're worried that it's going to be a little bit too much or you're not quite sure that they're styled in the right way. I think sometimes with pants like this, you put them with a bunch of other garments that are low key so that they can shine and then you just feel a little overwhelmed. But I think putting pants like this or any loud pant really with a quite oversized white button-down shirt is brilliant because the drama of the oversized nature of the shirt, the fact that it's kind of flowy and blousy helps to balance out the drama of the pants. But then the fact that it's just a plain white button-down allows the pants to shine. I've never seen this before. I mean, I've never seen it and noticed it as such. A big blousy oversized white shirt with really loud pants like this. And I think it's a spectacular outfit formula, so to speak, if these are 2 garments or 2 types of garments that you have and that you're always kind of trying to figure out how to wear. Oh, this is another one where I saw this picture and I was like, let's all just take the formula. It's like, it seems simple. It seems like, why didn't I think of that? And maybe I have, but it helps to see this picture and to have it isolated and just break it down and call it what it is, which is an oversized graphic tee, oversized trousers, and a leather jacket. I absolutely love this. This might be the one that I'm the most eager to wear tomorrow myself. You know, I also think that this would be different if the bag was different. You can't really see the shoes, but if the shoes were different, this outfit with heels or with high-heeled sandals, for example, would be very different from this outfit with trainers or with sneakers. So there's so much potential. You can start with this as a base and then go kind of almost anywhere with it. Boots, you can wear it with boots. Loafers, that's probably what I would do. But once again, this is an example of, at least for me, it's like I have some oversized graphic tees. I have several pairs of trousers. I have a great leather jacket. And I probably have worn them maybe all together in the past, but maybe not with like a really oversized tee layered like this. But I've never thought about the power of those 3 elements together until now. And I think going forward, I will remember it a lot and make use of it. And the more I make use of it, the more it will stick. Next up, this is something, I'm so excited to talk about this again. This is something that I have been deeply, unrelentingly into doing probably for the past maybe almost half a year, like maybe almost 6 months, having never done it ever before then ever in my life. And that is asymmetrical earrings. I had this really cool friend, or I have still this really cool friend, Megan, who always used to wear asymmetrical earrings. And I always thought it looked amazing on her. And I just never felt like I could quite go there. And then several months ago, I just stepped over the line. I started doing it and I have never literally I have never, not a single day since then, gone back. So you can definitely do this with any two different pairs of earrings. I feel like the most powerful trick for sure is having it be a dangly look on one side, something with movement and length, and then on the other side, a stud or something close to the ear, which is what I've done today. And I'm going to take a moment to wax poetic about today's video sponsor, Idol. This is my long dreamed about perfect asymmetrical ear stack. And I did this with Idol jewelry. So on one side, it's a combination of the Apollo ear chain and then a single dangling cocoa add-on. And then on the other ear, I have clustered some studs and add-ons together for that organic effect. It's like it's giving diamonds grow on this ear like buds on a branch, and I live for that. At this point, I have extensive experience with Idol, and I have waxed poetic on many occasions about the modular designs and the fact that you can kind of mix and match and combine them in different ways. For example, the cocoa add-on, which is the dangling part here, can also be styled as a pendant. But the thing that I've come to appreciate the most is like the taste level. The level of the aesthetics and how well calibrated this jewelry is between effortless wearability and luxury. I feel like a look like this that I have on today, it has a playful side, but it also telegraphs an artistic sensibility, and it does the heavy lifting. So I find that if I'm wearing an otherwise very simple outfit, but I'm wearing a look from Idol like this, the outfit still has that spark, figuratively and literally, because it goes without saying at this point, but the rainbow sparkle of these diamonds is immaculate. As always, you can really see it in the close-up footage, and it is such a joy to film with these pieces. Idol hand selects the top 1% of lab-grown diamonds, and the pieces are made in-house by artisans in their Antwerp atelier. And of course, with Idol, the settings are all 14 karat gold, so I can wear them in the bath and shower without any tarnish or damage. And to me, that really, really matters. Sturdiness is an essential component in contemporary luxury. As time goes on and I work in this field, I find that if I'm really going to bond with a garment or a piece of jewelry, an accessory, it has to be livable, like made to be lived in. I find that that quality, that livability, it contributes both to the practical nature and to the aesthetic of a piece. And that is exactly Idol's mission too, right? Intentional, thoughtful, effortless diamond jewelry. I love wearing it. I love filming with it. And I'm so grateful to be working with Idol. In this image, the original inspiration image for asymmetrical earrings, there are other asymmetries going on. Before we move on from this image, I just want to mention that an asymmetrical hairstyle, an asymmetrical drape on the clothing. So that's another thing. If you are kind of like uncomfortable with asymmetry or haven't explored it much, haven't thought that much about it when you're putting outfits together, if you tend to always balance things out on one side with the other side exactly, and you don't really think about the power of these kinds of across the body lines, you can maybe take the inspiration even further than just jewelry. But dangling on one side, close to the lobe on the other, from personal experience, I can tell you, if you have never quite gone there, taking the leap isn't as hard as you think it is, and you might be really glad you did it. Ooh, this might be my favorite. I'm so into this. So I had saved both of these images separately to my Pinterest 2026 style inspo board. I think both of these outfits are really beautiful. And they both are doing something that I think is so visually powerful, physically delightful, and relatively unusual, like relatively untapped as like a power in outfit composition, and that is this. Both of these outfits feature a winter or fall or early spring, like a slightly cold weather top half with sandals, with exposed bare feet. So wherever it is that this person lives when these pictures are being taken, it's cold enough for a jacket, but warm enough for sandals. And here's why I'm so excited about this. I feel like this is coming up for those of us who are in winter right now. The day might come sooner than we think when it would feel comfortable to put on a pair of sandals, even if it's still so cold that you want to be wearing your scarf and your jacket. At least where I live, it's not we're not there yet. Okay, we're not there quite yet. But this makes me think, like looking at these images makes me think that it's not too soon for me to like queue up a pair of sandals and then recognize the first day that it's possible. I might still be wearing a leather jacket and trousers in one of these, right? It might still be cold enough that you need those layers or a wool blazer potentially, but especially for a quick trip out to put on the sandals. I love this. I love mixing. It's like mixing seasons inside of an outfit, it kind of feels. So there's that sense of edginess and excitement that comes from mixing formality levels, even though it's not quite that. Something slightly incongruous about it. And it's also sensual, to have an outfit where you're mostly covered up and you need warmth, and then to have such a barely there sandal that it almost looks like you have bare feet. There's something playful and a little bit sensual about that. So I just think this is brilliant. It's clearly something that this person does frequently when getting dressed. And it's something that I hope that I will remember to try as soon as the seasons change enough for me to try it, and then to continue to take advantage of the transitional weather to do this for as long as possible this year. And it's something you can do if you're in Australia and it's summer. As it starts to get cold, you can do this, right? And then for me, where I am, as it starts to get warm, I'll be able to do this. The joys of transitional weather. Oh my goodness, look at this outfit. There's so much that's brilliant about this. So we have a velvet dress that clearly is like a smock silhouette. Just like an easy to wear, in some ways, velvet dress. Because it's velvet, it might not be easy to wear in other ways. If you have a dress like this, you might not think of that as a casual garment or even as a daily wear garment, something you might just wear to work one day, But it's being worn here with lace-up, beautifully constructed Oxford, sort of like menswear inspired leather shoes and socks to the ankle, like ankle socks. And that's it. It's a 3-bean salad. That's a reference to a past video of mine. It's an outfit that only has 3 elements, right? Just the dress, the shoes, and the socks. It's so playful, cheeky, edgy to have the shoe, the sock, and then a dress like this. It allows one to take this dress into so many settings in which it might otherwise feel too formal. And it also looks so comfortable. This outfit is doing that thing where it's both trying hard and doing a lot and effortless and simple at the same time. And when I'm saving images or searching for images and I spot an outfit like that, that is what gets me going the most these days. It's like that alchemy, everything in perfect balance. It doesn't need to be a velvet dress, right? I would say if you've got a dress that you tend to save for when you're dressing up, and you usually put it with pumps or otherwise fancy shoes, and it languishes at the back of your drawer because you think that it's too fancy for every day. Try dressing it down with a fresh shoe combination like this, or maybe something similar to this, but not quite this, and see what that does for you. Okay, several examples. I know I've been talking about this a lot lately. Several examples of the little silk scarf tied close at the neck, right? So I've been talking about spotting people wearing a silk scarf, but not in a preppy way, kind of in an artistic way instead of a preppy way, a bandana, but not in an Americana way. That's kind of like the equal and opposite. These sort of in-between artistic, easy ways of wearing a scarf like this. I love all of these examples and many, many more. It was hard to just pick a couple of slides of them. I'm not going to talk at too much length about this because it's come up in a lot of fashion videos lately. And when that happens, I know that I just need to start doing it. Partly what's happening is our house is still not completely organized, and I have a couple scarves like this and I don't know where they are. I just keep talking about it on YouTube instead of finding my scarves. That is the issue. I think this looks amazing with a blazer. I think if you've got a colorful scarf and it's feeling like a lot, wearing all black or wearing a pretty subdued outfit is one way to handle that. Another way is to wear a very colorful printed outfit so that the scarf kind of just feels like a natural extension of what you're already wearing. And there are examples of both of those here. It adds a little something and takes what would otherwise have been maybe an unremarkable outfit to that level of like awareness about style. I really, really love that. Very much on my radar right now. Look at these 2 images. Look at these 2 images next to each other. These are 2 examples of 2 very different, but in some ways really similar, vibes-wise very similar, examples of ways to wear a skirt over pants, which is another thing that I've talked about a lot on YouTube over the years and just never get brave enough to try. And I think partly for me, it's because it feels like a lot. It feels like it's going to look like I'm doing a lot. And the reason that I love both of these images is that it looks so effortless in both of these cases. And in one case, it's a very long skirt and then trousers just underneath underneath the skirt, making the look a little bit less formal, I feel. And in the other case, it's a really short skirt and it's kind of just, it's almost making the jeans a little bit more styled, like a little bit edgier. I don't even need to tell you, right? These images speak for themselves, and the possibilities and what you might be able to do in your wardrobe that reflects one of these two images or either one of them, you can suss it out for yourself, right? If you have a very short pleated skirt like this and you don't wear it very often because you need it to be the right environment, you could put it over barrel leg jeans. In both of these cases, I think the boot, they're both wearing like a heeled slipper boot. And I think that's a beautiful choice with a layered and dynamic but still casual outfit like this. In both of these cases, the overall vibe is pretty casual. It's maybe formality level 3, like a low 3. And that is another clue as to what makes the layered skirt over pants work and feel natural. So really, really stunning, exciting, inspirational imagery there. Okay, let us talk briefly about print mixing, which is something I'm really passionate about, even though I don't do it that much these days. We don't wear prints very often these days, at least not in this way. But I have a long history of print mixing in my life, and I know a lot about it, like what works and what doesn't work. I was struck by this. This is a brilliant example of print mixing, both just at face value, like you can tell as soon as you look at it that it's succeeding, but also on a technical level. Not all successful print mixing follows this formula, but the formula for print mixing is also being perfectly executed here. And I'll tell you what it is in this case, and then maybe I'll return to this in a future video. In this case, it's working because the two prints are roughly the same size, right? The leopard print pattern and the gingham pattern are roughly the same size. So that quality, the quality of size, they have in common. But the other two major qualities of print are whether the print is organic or graphic, and whether it has color or is black and white. These two prints differ in those two ways, right? So one is organic and one is graphic. One is black and white and one has color. And so they're different in those two ways. But in the third way, the size of the print, they are the same. So there's balance in terms of like the interaction of those qualities, and it's making it harmonize instead of feeling like it clashes. It feels fluid together instead of feeling too loud and jarring. So make of that what you will. You might be able to reverse engineer and apply that to all the prints in your wardrobe right now. And again, we'll talk about it again soon. But to make it really easy for you to break it down, if you have anything leopard print or cheetah print, anything in this sort of like warm golden animal print family, try pairing it with a black and white graphic print of roughly the same size. So it could be checks, it could be black and white checks, it could be gingham, it could be plaid. You know what I mean? Just a graphic print that doesn't have that much color that's roughly the same size if you have something like that, and see how it feels. It might be one of those things where you're like, oh, I would never have thought to put those two things together, but then you put them on together and you realize that they actually kind of go in a way you wouldn't have thought of. Beautiful outfit. All right, I saved both of these pictures. I don't know if this is someone posting their own pictures, but this looks like it could also be from like a photo shoot for something, or maybe even like a fashion brand. Like it looks like it could be advertising. I don't exactly know. I don't feel as confident that this is like street style or somebody putting together their own outfit as I usually am when I save outfits, but I just had to show them to you because I feel like these two outfits are really incredible examples of harmony coming from nothing matching, but each garment having bold qualities. So the picture on the left, the cardigan is boldly just this pale pink and it's pretty simple. The shirt is boldly this stripe and it's pretty simple. The pants are boldly a textural corduroy in this warm, brilliant color, but they're pretty simple. And then the shoes are pretty simple. So none of those pieces kind of dovetails with another in an aggressive way. They all sort of stand alone and are their own elements, but it's like they all have the same frequency of intensity. Like they're all at the same frequency. They're all sort of bold, but simple and have a little bit of a sense of humor. Like each one of the pieces. And just putting them all together works. The exact same thing is happening in the other picture. The cardigan is that rugby stripe, really bold, brilliant, deep color. The shirt, that graphic print, really lovely. The pants, simple but tailored and really just aggressively stunning garment. It's like each one of these garments is an aggressively stunning garment, standalone, and they're not telegraphing that they're supposed to go with the things that they're with, but there's enough going on in each outfit that it all kind of balances out to this comfortable, comforting hum of sound. It's so lovely. I am really struck by these. And it must be said, also the wallpaper and the rug. I mean, if this guy is like taking pictures of his own outfits in his own house, he is nailing it in 1001 ways. It is stunning, putting all of us to shame. All right, here's one that I fear, but I just had to mention it because it's gorgeous here. And I think there are probably a lot of you out there for whom this would work. It's the short skirt with the very sheer black hose with ankle socks and chunky sneakers. Maybe I should try it one day just to be familiar with style. Like maybe I should just try it so that I can call myself a fashion influencer because I think it would overwhelm me. Right? I don't know if it would work for me at this phase of my life, but if you have, I put it in this video because it's like a lot of you might already have these elements. You might have socks like this, you might have sneakers like this, you might have hose like this, and you might have a short skirt, and you might never have worn them all together. And you might see this picture and just have an aha moment and be like, I'm going to look so hot tomorrow because I'm going to put all of those things together. And that's what this video is about. So I had to share it with you. Okay, 2 ways to wear an oversized plaid button down, which is something that I have been craving for some reason, but I also have been craving ways to style an oversized plaid button down that puts a little bit of distance between it and the truly vintage, like 90s grunge look, right? I'm like, how do we style an oversized plaid button down, but make it feel a little bit fresh? So I think that in the one image with the woman standing in front of the door, it's being done in a simpler way that is a little bit more of an echo of 90s grunge. Shorts, bare legs, and then these chunky boots. So that's a little bit more like 90s grunge for sure, a little bit more authentic to it. I just feel like if it was warm enough for me to wear an oversized plaid button down and I did it with shorts and boots like this, it would feel fresh to me. Like I think I would love to style an oversized plaid button down like that. And I'm looking forward to doing that when it gets warm. So I wanted to include that as a suggestion. I also note in that image that her makeup is pretty striking. I know it's like a far away picture, but I think that that's also contributing to it feeling like a pulled together look. And that's certainly contributing in the other image. Now this blue oversized plaid button down also looks like it's organza, right? So it's a bit high fashion. It's not quite that thing that could go either way. It could be grunge. I feel like that's not the takeaway for me. The takeaway is the blue eyeshadow that matches the plaid. So one way to elevate an oversized plaid shirt is to put on a really bold, colorful eye makeup that is the same color as the main color of the plaid or as one of the colors of the plaid. I feel like that is another thing that kind of separates it from just the sort of like the slurry of grunge imagery that this type of shirt usually references. Okay, and 2 ways to wear a maxi skirt, a floral maxi skirt, even though it's winter. That's essentially what this is. 2 ways to wear a floral maxi skirt, even though it's winter. This image on the left with the striped shirt, it kept being recommended to me on Pinterest and I kept looking at it and not pinning it because I was looking for images, saving imagery for different videos and I was like, it's so beautiful. It's so exciting, but it wasn't relevant to the videos that I was planning at the time. I just kept not pinning it. And then finally, when I was preparing for this video, I saw it and I was like, aha. So if you have, very specifically, right, if you have a floral maxi skirt and a Breton stripe or a striped shirt, come on. I mean, it's stunning. But I also think there's something about the only slightly oversized slouch of the shirt and the volume of the skirt. The skirt is voluminous in a way that is usually a little more formal, but because of the fit of the shirt, it's been dressed down. So this could be something about print mixing, but it could also be something about volume and formality levels, the lesson there. And then this equally stunning image on the right, a flowy floral maxi skirt with a very textured knitwear, a very textured sweater, and chunky lace-up boots. That is another just stunning, easy outfit formula that several of us, I think, could borrow without giving it a second thought and just do it straight from our own wardrobes. All right, we did it. I always bite off more than I can chew with videos like this. I always save too many images. I make the list too long. I tell myself I'm going to not go on for too long about any one thing, and then I do. And now I've been filming for like almost an hour and my voice is shot. I've been avoiding looking at myself in the monitor because I don't want to think about how humorously red my hair looks. I also want you to know that it's particularly carroty under these lights. Like in person, I mean, it's not like it's not color accurate. It's just in person doesn't look quite so coppery. It's pretty natural because my hair was essentially this color when I was younger. Maybe a little more strawberry blonde than this, but it was essentially this color when I was younger. So it's essentially doing what I had hoped and kind of vibing with my natural coloring. It's vibing more vibrantly than I had anticipated. It's really Anne of Green Gables moment. But, you know, she dyed her hair green accidentally, and I have dyed my hair the color of Anne of Green Gables' original hair that she was trying to fix when she dyed it green, kind of accidentally. Thank you for spending this time with me. I hope you are inspired, and you know what I want to know. Which one are you going to try? Which one stood out to you? Which one made your heart sing? Which one made you go, oh, I've never thought of that, but I could do it tomorrow? For me, it's a lot of them. I'm going to see. I think the little scarf is the thing that I feel is the most at my fingertips. If I can just find a scarf with which to try that. I know I have some, I just don't know where they are. And if as soon as I find one, I'm going to put it on like this and wear it for a while. So that's probably the one that I feel the most eager to try, but also the oversized graphic tee with trousers and leather jacket. We have inclement weather right here, so not today, but I'm going to be trying that one as soon as I can. But really a lot of them. This was a fun one. Thank you again for watching. Again, don't forget to subscribe if that's something you're interested in doing. Check out my Patreon. I'll link that and everything down below. And you know, just for the sake of it, purely for the sake of it, I hope that you are taking extra good care of yourself.